สวัสดีค่ะแม่จ๋าเพื่อนมาแล้วสาวทางมาแล้วสวัสดีค่ะทุกคนนะคะเดี๋ยวเราจะพาทุกคนมานั่งเรือนะคะมานั่งเรือทัวร์ดูรอบๆเมืองเนาะนะคะเดี๋ยวเราซื้อตั๋วนะคะตรงนี้ซื้อตั๋วนะคะ1 ชั่วโมงเราก็มานั่งเรือกันนะคะบรรยากาศตอนนี้เรือกำลังถอยหลังตอนนี้เรามีแสงแดดแล้วนะทุกคนไปนั่งเรือกันนะคะ
We're going to be sitting around Copenhagen for the next hour and look at that, the sun came out. What a beautiful thing. Just at the start of the tour, I have been praying for the sun all morning long, so it's wonderful to see just a bit of blue skies. That's also a great feeling. Now, we've had the tide, high tide here in Copenhagen for, well, more than a week. So it's more often that I say that we won't be able to go through some of the canals because there are some bridges there that are quite low. Today it's always a little bit, we don't really know. So there is one canal we know we won't go through. There's another one that's on the, we'll see what happens because it goes up and down real fast, yeah. So if I turn around every now and then, it's just to figure out where we are in Copenhagen, yeah, because the captain makes the call and then I just talk about whatever I see. The thing about having been here for a while is that I can talk about Copenhagen for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. The biggest problem I have is to learn how to stop talking. So yes, let's have a good tour. Of course, the tour is in English. Is there anybody who needs the tour in Danish as well? Raise a hand. No? I don't think we have any Italians on board either. No? Doesn't look like it. No, because this is a Danish, English, and Italian tour. But of course, it doesn't make any sense for me to translate everything that I say into Danish and Italian if nobody needs it. So let's have a good tour. I'm really, really happy to see that the weather is getting better and better. On your left-hand side there, you have that big glass building that is the Royal Playhouse. The playhouse there opened back in 2008 and was designed by the Danish architects Lundgaard and Tranberg. When they opened it, they did it with a production of William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Hamlet that of course takes place here in Denmark, just outside Copenhagen. Beautiful city called Helsingør. Now the funny thing about the playhouse there is you see that top floor up there, all that glass, the very top floor. Now half of that, just about half of that, those are the dressing rooms for the actors. So yeah, it's all glass and no curtains are allowed. It's something that they have made on purpose. So very often in the summertime when they have a lot of shows in there, I point and then you see 10 or 20 naked actors standing up there changing their clothes. I don't really know why they wanted to open the whole thing up. That's what they say that they really did because yeah, you can't be too shy if you do a show in there for sure, especially in the summertime. Then on your right hand side over here we have a lot of construction work going on. This is going to turn into apartments, offices and something they call a water culture house, Vandkulturhus. This water culture house is something about implementing the harbor into it so you can jump in and out like a very modern swimming pool, I imagine. On the other side, on the left hand side, we're going to have a park. So sounds like a good idea. Get some greenery in the area. They're going to divide it into 5 different sections. So there's going to be a British inspired park and a Japanese inspired park and all these different things. 628 trees right there to be exact. Now the apartments over here on your right hand side, we for a long time of course us who guide here in Copenhagen, we were waiting for some prices because that's what everybody wants to know. They only want to know how expensive is it going to be to live in there. We knew it was going to be expensive, but oh boy did we have no idea. So the most expensive apartment in there is going to be on the 11th floor. It's going to be just over 200 square meters. That's not that big, and it costs between 35 and 40 million Danish kroner. That's around 5 million euros. For 5 million euros, you can get 2, 3, or 4 castles here in Denmark as well. In some place no one wants to live. So yeah, it's not cheap, but it wasn't too high the price because I can tell you that apartment has already been sold and it doesn't exist yet. So someone just had about 40 million Danish kroner lying around. Yes, let's go. You can see the bridge here, how low it is. This bridge is not supposed to be that low. I can tell you that there's a lot of adults that can stand out here under this bridge on a normal day, just to give you an idea of how high the tide is today. Also, by definitely not one of the lowest bridges we have in Copenhagen, so some of the other ones are impossible to deal with today. More and more houseboats coming into this area as well. More and more popular, of course, to live in these beautiful houseboats all over Copenhagen. Don't be fooled, it is quite expensive to live in a houseboat. Yeah, the maintenance on a houseboat is crazy expensive compared to an actual apartment, but it's lovely. The bad thing about living in one of those is that you have me standing here every single day pointing into your living room. Yeah. And especially sometimes with the bedrooms, people forget to close their blinds, and then I'm pointing, and then some very private stuff is happening while I'm pointing right into their bedroom. Yeah. So if you live in a houseboat, close those blinds. That's my suggestion at least. Okay, we have a bridge here, so I just have a quiet zone for my microphone for just a few moments because we have a lot of people living right there. So I'll be quiet for just a few minutes, then I'll be back with many more stories. Just in case we sided with France, they came here and bombed us for 3 days straight and stole our entire fleet. Now that was a big thing for us because of course Denmark had been a very important big seafaring nation for centuries and centuries, going all the way back. Stay, a very important ship here in Denmark. It is a training ship, so if you want to learn how to become a sailor and you are in your teens, you can learn it here. They say now in the summertime it takes about 60 students at a time, and then you can get learn the basics of what it means to become a sailor if that's what you want to do with your life. It's a very unique form of learning it. And then in front of us there, on your left-hand side, Fire. That's an old ferry that has been turned into a houseboat. Yes, it is a little houseboat for a very rich and talented architect whose name is Bjarke Engels. He lives primarily in New York, also has a home in Italy, and when he's in Copenhagen, he lives on this one. Yeah, so not bad. I'll get back to Bjarke Engels in just a bit. You'll see something that he's done, and maybe you get an idea of why he has so much money that he can do that and live in there, because you never really see him on it. He's here very rarely in Copenhagen. Now this entire area that we're in right now is known as Holmen. Holmen means a small island in Old Danish, and it consists of 5 artificial islands. The oldest one dates back to 1685, so a lot of history here. And this is where the Navy used to be for many years back, when we had a big Navy, a big fleet. So of course a lot of naval history in the area area. Now you see one big warship that is left over there, that big one which is F352 on the side of it, that is Pillerskampfregatten. Now Pillerskampfregatten here is very, very famous. It was part of the Cold War, that's not why it's so famous. It's very famous for one giant mistake it made back in 1982. On the 6th of September 1982, that particular ship somewhere else in Denmark during a training exercise suddenly, by mistake, fired a missile. And you can imagine when you fire a missile by mistake, that is not a very good idea because it was a huge missile and it was ready to destroy. So they sent it flying. What was even worse was they had sent it flying towards Copenhagen, the capital of the country. I'm quite sure there must have been a sensation of horror on that boat when they realized, oh no, we sent that huge missile flying towards the capital of the country. It flew for 34 kilometers until it reached the summer house area where it luckily got stopped by some trees, later exploded, completely destroying 4 summer houses. 4 summer houses were wiped off the face of the earth and 130 summer houses were damaged in the incident. Now luckily it happened out there, no one was there so no one got hurt. But Spain, we call it the whoops missile here in Copenhagen, as in, whoops, you got away from me, sorry about that one, next round is on me. As I said, the Navy used to be in the area, and one of the last remains we have of the Navy is that beautiful building you have in front of you there, right behind the Danish flag. That is Battery 6, it's called, and used to be a very, very important part of the Navy back in the day. Of course, today, now it's all about the history and a very historic, important monument. It dates all the way back to 1746. You see the flag there at Battery 6. Now that flag is quite particular. That is called the flag of the kingdom. So many people view that as the most important flag in all of Denmark. We are very, very proud of our flag here in Denmark. Every survey I've ever seen always says that it's the turn the boat around. We're gonna wait here for about 5 minutes, see if there's anybody who wants to join the tour, and then we'll continue, yeah? So, any questions while we're here, you just ask, because I'm right here to answer them if you have any doubts, yeah?
Wow. What is it?
I think this is Christian's boat. This is where the government is. This for government. ขอบคุณทุกท่านทุกคนที่ติดตามรับชมนะคะ โชคดีมีชัยพบกันใหม่คลิปหน้าจ้า